Welcome back to KentuckySports.co radio show. We got a happy birthday to go out to Latrell Sprewell, 41 years old. Provided some great memories, great quotes.
Crooked, corrupt, criminal crime, force of cream, cocaine hustler, blowing out the brains of busters.
And don't forget about the Latrell Sprewell rim bender.
Counting mad cream, weighing tons of coke, guarded by thugs and rock wallers. I flood the streets with drugs and clock dollars. Niggas get plugged with my clock dollars. Skunk smoker, Philly and Al Ripper, Cristal sipper. I've been a Willie for a while, nigga. Gruff got hoes, the man with all the nachos. Expensive, hot clothes, drop top rolls, East Coast, West Coast,
former
overdose.
right there, Alabama Crimson Tide.
This money be tempting me to jump out the MPV, MP3, clips, hollow tips with no sympathy. Since 14, I sold morphine for more green, kept open in order to cope.
What are you talking about? This is actually behind us. This is all there.
Latrell Sprewell is here. Real life. Do want to remind everybody to call in 502-265-5211. You know, I'd prefer you didn't, but if you want to rant about conference realignment or something like that, call us and let us know. But if you want to call the rant line and leave a message about anything you want to talk about related to KentuckySports.co material, that's 1-877-452-1231. So, we're going to do a little preview of this exciting football. What do you guys think about that?
It's not exciting.
What?
Week 1 was terrible.
No.
I know we didn't get that damn show last week. Oh, come on. Did you think you all were good?
Man, Louisville's
Dugan actually, or Kelly here actually texted me after the Louisville game, and he was very impressed with Will Stein, which he wasn't horrible. But I'm not hating on Will Stein, but the second half was terrible.
The second half was
Kentucky
terrible.
game's terrible. I'm not.
Ever since they put Teddy Bridgewater in and he threw that interception, yeah, those 2 false starts. I mean, it was a very poor game. They didn't score from that point forward.
I tell you what, though, the one thing that you can get more excited about for both teams is Devontae Parker.
God, he's
first U of L player since I want to say 1970 something to be a true freshman and score a touchdown in his first game.
He's a beast.
I saw him in the press conference afterward, and C.L. Brown was over there picking it. He was the only one in the room C.L. Brown wanted to talk to, and he was asking him, were you nervous? And Devontae Parker was like, no. Very matter-of-factly said, I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, isn't anyone out there that can guard me? So what do I have to be nervous about?
Yeah, I heard Vic Anderson he was being interviewed and asked about Parker, and he said he went up to Parker and said something like, "How are you? You got to score a touchdown today?" Or Parker responded with something like, "I don't know if they're even gonna put me in." And then he comes out and scores a touchdown.
Is that how he sounded?
Yeah, he's kinda.
He's a freak, man. He's huge. He's like 6'3". Good basketball player too, right?
Oh yeah, All-State. Easily had numerous Division I's. Not right at the top apparently, but a number of Butler had we talked about prior to the show. Drake, pretty much those MAC Missouri Valley conferences, which are still very very quality basketballs played. They all wanted him, but he made the choice to play football, and really, and you just look at him in that first game. I mean, I'd say barring injury, he's no doubt a first, second round pick in the NFL in 3 years.
I'm not going to say he has the speed of a Randy Moss, because that's a very difficult thing to have. He doesn't. But he's one of those in the mold of, I don't know, Mike Williams from USC or something like that.
Yeah, he does. He does look very big and already physically matured as a freshman, and you just hope that he keeps getting bigger and keeps growing, and there's going to be someone to throw him the ball the next 2 years. You hope that Bridgewater, if that's the future, he develops, and which I think he will, and that things evolve for the little program that way.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to this. We got about 15 minutes here.
Okay.
Talk about the UK game.
Sure.
Game.
What do you think about the UK? Central Michigan.
I think Kentucky's going to come out and perform. LeRod's pissed. Did you see his comments to the fans?
Nope.
Hank, did you catch him?
I heard about him. I did not catch him, but he shouldn't be mad at anybody but himself because the UK receiving corps was absolutely terrible.
He had a good play, didn't he?
Yeah, when he dropped that bomb down the right sideline.
Yeah. And that was and you look, there's a lot of plays that go like that, but I've just heard a lot that the game could have been changed like that, and that's a hard thing to say if a game changes by one way, just by one play. But that was a very, very crucial play.
He said something about the fans, how they've been saying negative things towards obviously the first week, and he was pretty pissed off. That's basically what it was.
Well, going into the season, all everybody said was got a good offensive line. Everybody seemed confident in Morgan Newton. They were just concerned whether or not the wide receivers could catch the ball, and it certainly didn't look like they can.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some Aaron Boyd this week. Seriously, why not?
Yeah.
He's got to be able to catch the ball. He's had to at least catch one in practice, right?
I guess.
Give him a shot.
McCaskill can catch it.
Yeah, Gene can. Gene can catch it, but God, we just need a rod. He's number one. He's 6.
He's got all the.
Yeah, he's 6'4". He's a big guy.
Big guy. He's one of the bigger in the SEC as receivers. I mean, why can't he be like a Julio Jones or one of the top guys in AJ Green? Really?
Just it's hard to have that. You have to have it. You have to go out and want to make plays and want to do those things. There's a reason he wasn't heavily recruited. The reason these guys, the Julio Jones, AJ Greens, they were sought after at 15 years old because they have the ability to go up and want to make plays. And me and Kelly discussed that in the first segment. That Kentucky really, something that was very, very glaring is they do not have one single guy that you feel that you can go and make a play. Like, I had no clue on any of the possessions. I was like, they have to go to this certain person on this one. You had no clue, and I think it was very evident in the way that the offense struggled.
Yeah, they're really missing Randall. And on the other side of the ball for Louisville, I think Chichester is kind of their guy.
Their go-to guy? Yeah.
No.
The guy who drops it?
Yes, exactly. That shouldn't. He's a monster. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, he's never progressed, the way that they thought of. But I do look for Kentucky, like you said, Tyler. I look for Kentucky to come out and perform. And like I said, there has been people, outside of the state that have confidence in them. I think
defensively, Rick Minter.
They look at, I think they're just looking at the stats, and look at Kentucky really didn't allow Western to do anything. So you got to hope that things kind of snowball. The first real home game, I think that's another big thing, is I think it was the worst possible time with the inexperienced team to go out and play kind of a neutral site game that didn't even really have the Kentucky advantage. I didn't really hear watching on TV, I didn't really hear the crowd get loud at all. And the team kind of played like that.
There.
Yeah, so hopefully Commonwealth, they're getting hyped. Things will go a little bit better for the Cats.
It was a tough game for Kentucky, but, what did Western have to be nervous about? All the pressure was on Kentucky. I mean, that's the first game of the year. That's how it is when you play little, easy cupcake-type teams. And neither Kentucky or Louisville is playing really that tough of a team this week either. But you expect it to be internal stuff that they improve on instead of really game planning against the other team.
Didn't Florida Atlantic win a bowl game last year?
Yes, they did win a bowl game.
I will say they are a better opponent in Central Michigan, and they will give Louisville a run. Louisville should win, and I'm saying Louisville will
Florida
win.
International.
Florida International. I was thinking JJ threw me off with his
Florida Atlantic.
Howard Schnellenberger coming back into town, which he was wrong. JJ, if you're listening.
JJ, if you are listening, call in 502-265-5211. We'd love to hear from you. The obnoxious one.
Yeah. But going back to what Hank was saying earlier, and it all brings up confidence. And my worry is that if they don't have the confidence they need like they normally have, like LeRod King for dropping those passes, confidence will make you make you a step slower. If you got to think about catching the ball, if you've got to think about these other things rather than going there and doing it, if you know that in the past you've dropped it, and it's a whole confidence thing. I know when I played football, it was that way. Confidence was a huge thing. If you got to actually think about it, it's going to slow you up a step. You're not going to go out there like you normally would, I think.
You were a beast back in the day.
Hey.
Back in middle school, he was the most dominant player ever in the history of our middle school. Right, Matt?
That's right.
What's your stats that you have?
Until Kevin Bramlett came around and shattered your records.
I still don't believe that.
Kevin, if you're listening, call in. 502-265-5211. We got a battle here.
How many touchdowns did you score in the 7th grade, Matt?
I want to talk about it because I know there's someone out there that may eventually watch it that probably has beaten my record since then, and that's fine. That's fine. It's not something that I'm ashamed about. I don't care if somebody beats my record. It's just I'm proud of it. Even though I didn't grow since 7th grade, I was 5'10" in 7th grade, running over little 4'8" people. And then 8th grade, everyone passed me up, and in high school I was terrible.
They were running you over.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I mean, every year Matt is known for he gets out, cigars and some wine when someone doesn't break his record, and it's a big deal to him around his house. I mean, he doesn't forget about it. I'll say that.
Does the same thing the 72 Dolphins, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the same deal. So he can say he's not worried about it. His actions say otherwise. So
Let's talk a little bit of Louisville here.
Why?
what about Louisville? Louisville is playing Florida International. You mean football?
Yeah.
I think that they are going to first time that all 5 of those guys on the offensive line started last week. All 5 of them, that was their first start in college. John Miller, the guard out of Miami. That was his first time even sitting on the bench in Division I football. He was a true freshman. I think they've got to get better. There's no way around that. Mario Benavides, the center, is going to be out again. I think the offensive line will have a little bit more continuity. Obviously, they have 1 week under their belt, and I think that they'll improve. I think I'm looking for Jeremy Wright and Vic Anderson to have a little bit more of a presence, and they'll play Teddy Bridgewater a little bit more. Charlie Strong said in his press conference that he's going to give him at least 2 series, or he plans on giving him at least 2 series this week. Dominique Brown, he'll come in, I'm sure. Will he run a wild card or whatever it is every time he comes in and run the ball?
Would be nice.
That's what history shows. But he averages 4 yards a carry last week doing that. So I don't know.
So did Philpott.
Philpott was second on the team in rushing.
Somebody was making fun of our kickers on our NCAA countdown of why are they up there. Well, now you know.
Yeah, the kickers are going to be on the field a lot for both teams.
A lot.
You got to look at how, another subplot that I think is interesting too is, obviously Florida International being in Miami, and then the Miami factor playing here at UofL. You look for things to get a little bit chippy. I could see this is kind of a game that Bridgewater might excel because he knows some of these guys. This is some of these things that he's played against in high school. He doesn't want to look bad. If there's a thing that I think Bridgewater is the type of athlete, that last game pissed him off. He is mad. He is going to be wanting to come in and ready to make a play, especially against guys that he played with and was probably a lot better than in high school, even as probably a sophomore or junior. So you're going to look at this as I think Bridgewater's a time to step up.
Speaking of which, true freshman Andrew Johnson, who started last week and will start again this week, his brother is one of the running backs for Florida International.
Yeah, so you look.
So
you
not
look
only
for
that, but a lot of the guys know each other. So a lot of connections. Being that's a good point that it is in Miami area.
Yeah, and we just hope we don't have the repeat. I want to say I think it was 4 years ago where they Miami and Florida International got in that vicious fight.
Can we not watch that, Matt?
No.
Come on.
It was a bad fight. I think there were over
was like
40
the worst.
suspensions. Yeah. The announcer got up. He was a former Miami player. Gave his 2 cents of why you don't come into the OB and talk trash, and he lost his job for that. So it wasn't the best move on his part.
Wasn't the most lighthearted situation by any stretch. A lot of people did a lot of things they regret. I mean, I remember that was all over. Probably the biggest on-field fight ever.
Possibly.
Yeah, or close to it.
Football, Division I.
Clemson, South Carolina had a bad. They actually had to call the game for that one a couple years. That was a while back. That was Lou Holtz. But yeah, it was close. It was close. So
speaking of calling the game, what about football? How many games were called for weather delays? So they got struck by lightning. There was like 3 or 4 of them.
Was there?
Yeah, it was crazy. Notre Dame game. Notre Dame.
Oh
finished.
yeah, that was
Notre Dame
crazy.
Finished, but West Virginia was canceled.
West Virginia
early.
Marshall, and that was a huge one to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Michigan game, first time in the history that a game had been called in the Big House.
Yep. Wow, crazy. A fan in the stands actually got struck by lightning at the West Virginia game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is he all right?
I don't know.
He's West Virginia. He probably got struck by lightning before.
Yeah, it's
Probably something.
He's probably high, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We should have him on the show and ask him.
We're going to go to a quick break again here. We have a kind of a short show, running a little bit short. We started a little bit late, but we're going to be right back with our final segment with the KentuckySports.co radio show.
Is it?